Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Get At It Gaming Plus podcast, your weekly podcast for everything nerdy, whether it be video games, movies, anime, you name it. We talk about it. I'm Ben.
I'm Alex.
We got a good show for you this week. We're going to talk about the Final Fantasy VII event that happened recently. We're going to talk about the Nintendo Direct that happened this week. And we're going to talk about a little game called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. I don't know if you've heard of it. It seems to be quite the success. This podcast audio will release on Wednesday with a video version on YouTube. Please hit subscribe, like, all that good stuff. But let's get into it. Let's talk about what we've been playing or hidden treasures. Alex, I'm going to let you go first. I got a feeling that you've got way more than I do. I've got like 4 items.
Honestly, I have about 4 items. Yeah. Let's see. I've been on vacation, so I haven't really gotten a whole lot of stuff, and you've probably seen the stuff that I'm about to show. Honestly, yeah, you have. So it's not in here, as you can hear that. But this is one of the things I got. I got the Yu-Gi-Oh! Millennium Puzzle box. It is a model kit, so you have to actually like build it.
Oh, nice.
The dumb thing though is like I've had the puzzle for a long time and I never completed it because like there's instructions to build the pieces, but then after you build the pieces, it's just like there are no instructions to build the puzzle. Have fun. And I got like maybe halfway through it. I was just like, I can't do this. And so I had no real place of like storing it, but now I have the puzzle box, which honestly it probably should have been it's all together in one model kit, but they make you pay for extra stuff.
Of course.
So
Of
yeah,
course.
so I did that. It took like 20 minutes to build. Um, but could store my puzzle pieces in there. While I was out and about on vacation still, I came across another model kit. Honestly, a lot of these are model kits. Detective Conan, case closed, as it even says right there. It is a model kit. It doesn't require paint. It doesn't require like cutters or anything. It says no tools, no paint, 39 pieces. Like it's for 6-year-olds, I guess. But the cool thing about it is that it's like it's a model kit, obviously. So like there's instructions and stuff on how to do it. But one of the instructions is blank. You have to figure out a puzzle, like a brain teaser thing, like a la
Oh,
like
wow.
Professor Layton or something. And there are hints about it, um, or like about it, and then you can also just like open it up and like on the sides of the inside box has the answers, so like you can't really fail. Thankfully. So we'll see if I do that eventually. But it was just cool to see. I only found this at one game exchange. So there are a ton of game exchanges where I was at, and we used to have game exchange locally for us over here some time ago. But yeah, where I was at, there were like 4 or 5 game exchanges, and it was just interesting to see that as a franchise. I didn't realize that was a franchise.
Yeah, we had what? We had we had like one.
We had one that moved.
Yeah, we had one that moved. And I liked it. I wish we still had it. Because they sold everything. They didn't just sell
Mm-hmm.
new things. They would sell old, a good retro, and their prices were usually pretty reasonable. So
Yeah, I even found an Earthbound there for super expensive. I did not buy it. It's close to $400. But then today, as we were talking about earlier, our local place posted on their Facebook. There's an Earthbound there for $300. So there's that. I'm not buying it. And then finally, I bought a Sega Saturn. Kind of. It is a model kit of a Sega Saturn, a Japanese Sega Saturn. I got bamboozled a little bit, as always. So there is painting required for audio listeners. I'm showing the whole thing. Oh yeah, you guys can't see that because of the green screen. But there's painting and stuff that it wants you to do for the board, because there is like chips and all that in there. So they want you to use like watercolors or something in order to paint the plastic. Um, but I don't like painting things. But at the same time, like if I'm gonna build that, I should paint it because like
Right.
it's designed to be a model. So if I do open it up, then I can see everything like that. Um, Otherwise, I'm trying to think of what else. Oh yeah, I guess I have the big thing. Um, Today I ended up buying a Nintendo Switch OLED. I have the box. I don't have the Switch with me. OLED model. It's huge. First of all, that's a huge boy. Um, I love the kickstand for it, because of how low it can go and still be um, like up. Because when you plug it in for power into the bottom of it, you can still just have it like angled enough to where you can see it and be plugged in at the same time. Um, and then yeah, the controllers feel nice. The OLED in general just feels nice. It did get really hot though earlier, so that was concerning. I think it was because I was downloading a bunch of stuff and it was on standby.
That could be.
Um, but like it got really hot. Like it's not like a jet engine. As soon as I turned it off of standby, like the fan just like went off, and it's like this is scary. But yeah, the reason why I bought Nintendo Switch OLED because I've had a launch Switch this entire time, um, and it I think the battery is starting to bulge. So at least that's what it looks like. I can see like it opening up on the plastic. So I thought that I should probably fix it, and I weighed my options, and I didn't want to lose anything. I don't want to send it to Nintendo because I feel like that will take too long. It'll be expensive since it's no longer under warranty. Um, I also didn't want to take it somewhere else because I didn't want to lose data. So the thing I thought of was, well, let me see who has this in stock, and oh, well and behold, Target has it in stock. They're pretty close to me, so I walked over to Target and bought this after work, and yeah, it's just started transferring stuff. And it's a little bit of a pain because I wanted my Animal Crossing, so it made it a lot harder to transfer things. Um,
When when I was transferring from our original Switch to my Animal Crossing Switch, I was freaking out because it I didn't know you had to do the app.
yeah,
So then I did the app on both systems, and it still took a long time for it to transfer.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I got it working at least, so it's all in there. I still need a green screen protector, so I haven't really touched the screen a whole lot yet, just because of that. But otherwise, it looks nice. It feels good. It has a nice weight to it. Um, I put in a few games into it as well as downloaded some things that I like actively want to download that have save files and stuff. Um, and there are some games where I actually didn't transfer the save file on purpose, like Breath of the Wild, for example. I haven't played that game since launch, and I was like, well, this gives me a good excuse to play it again, so I'm not going to
Yeah,
transfer the save file. I really want to play it in Japanese because you can now do different voices. Whereas when it launch came out, you just had the English voices, and oof, I did not enjoy those voices a whole lot. So yeah, I can do that. Mario Odyssey was another one of those. But yeah, just I plan on fixing the other one here in a while, and opening it up, see if I can fix it. And if I can, cool. And I'll sell it. If not, cool, I'll sell it. So I'll at least take the battery out. I feel like,
yeah.
regardless, and let someone else deal with it. But yeah, that's all I've really have done. What about you? You said you had a few cool things. I have one thing that I've been playing, but it's related to something that you have, so I wanted to wait.
Gotcha. Well, I'm gonna go through this. So this thing here, I may get some grief for this. Okay.
Hmm.
So I bought. I'm showing the the viewers, it's the Super Console X. It looks like a Japanese Super Famicom. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, emulator system. Um, it says it has 40,000 games on there. I have not got through any of them. Um, the reason I bought it is because it's got everything. It's got Nintendo DS. It's got Nintendo Game Boy Advance. It's got Game Boy. It's got every console under the moon, including Wonder Swan Color, um, even TurboGrafx 16 and Sega Dreamcast. For me, I don't collect any of those systems, and even the NES one, like I was telling Alex today, um, I played some NES games that are so expensive.
Yeah.
Uh, Little Samson, I played that today. I will never own that game because how expensive it is.
Yep.
Uh, but it emulates great. It has save states, so that's really nice. There's a lot of different things you could do. You can even download like games straight from their server onto there.
Huh.
Uh, and basically, when I got it, I plugged it in and it went. The controllers look cheap as crap. I'm not gonna lie.
Can you plug
They're
in
all
your own controllers though?
yeah, they're USB.
Okay.
So if you can get a USB controller with a USB dongle, yeah, it will accept it, and it actually you can change a lot of the different things for it, which are nice.
Cool.
Um, so I got that. I've not really had it very long. Um, Another thing you may remember from Alex's thing, I got Disrupting the Game
I
by
read
Reggie
3
Fils.
chapters of that book. I forgot to mention that. I actually read
Did
some of
you?
it on a plane.
That
Man,
was a Father's Day gift, and I've not read a single page.
man, the beginning of it is like, huh. His family, like his grandparents and stuff, like pretty reputable people for a while, and then stuff went downhill, and it's like, oof, man, living in the Bronx as a kid. There's a lot of like realness to it too.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
and I think Reggie is a real guy. I think he is a stand-up guy. Uh, Even when he tried to help out GameStop, and they were like, "Well, we don't want to do ideas."
yeah,
Uh, it still makes me laugh. How are you going to tell the man that brought Nintendo back from bankruptcy and is like he's like a rock star in his own mind? It not in his own mind, but like people think he's like the best person. He does a lot of talks,
yeah.
and then how are you, a younger person, going? You know what? We're not really gonna take ideas right now. We don't know that we really want to take
That
ideas.
makes me
So just
think of the quote from one of the old Nintendo Directs where Reggie is like, "If you don't have a Nintendo 3DS, what's wrong with you?" Like that's what it is. It's just what's wrong with you?
yeah. Um, but I've been wanting that book, and I want it hardback, and I'm gonna read it.
Yeah.
The next thing, oh my gosh, this thing's heavy. Is this?
Oh,
So this is the Halo Encyclopedia. Um, as you hear it drop,
yeah.
that was another one of my um, awesome gifts from my wife for Father's Day and my kids.
Mm-hmm.
That thing has every single thing from every Halo game. It has artwork. It has descriptions of what that is. Um, I love it.
It's awesome.
The last thing that probably Alex is going to talk about is this bad boy. So this actually has a funny story, Alex. I ordered this with some stuff from my pond out back. Supposed to be next day. It said, "Hey, we're running late," from Amazon. They said, "Hey, we're still running late," and then they said they lost my package.
Hmm.
So I had to get a refund, reorder it, but then it came the next day. I have not played this yet. I am excited to play it. Um, Alex speaks so highly. I've been watching Alex play it on stream. But I really do want to play this because I do want something different to kind of jump
Yeah.
into.
For audio listeners, I just realized you didn't say it. It's Die Hack GU last
Oh,
recode.
sorry. Yes,
You just showed it. I was like, oh yeah, you're just talking
yeah, I
about
should
stuff.
probably. I'm so
Um,
used to the camera.
yeah, I know, right? But yeah, Die Hack GU. So I was gonna say earlier, but I was like, oh, we're gonna record. I'll talk about it now. I did play a lot of that on my Switch. Oh, I guess I also played a little bit of Sonic Origins. But because I downloaded that, and it's fine. Um, but
It's okay. It's okay.
yeah, it's Sonic. But Dag GU, I played the first volume in there. Um, those games are different. They're different than the things that you've seen me play. They're more action oriented, which could be good for you. They also um, they're I was talking about this in a stream yesterday. To date myself, I guess. There is some risque character designs, I should say, as you can see on the cover. Maybe um, there's a girl Pie who just like is basically just wearing a bikini. I think maybe it's just underwear. I'm not sure. There's quite a few characters and stuff that just look like that, or they just all have like tribal tattoos and stuff. I don't like the
Right.
designs in GU. The gameplay's very good, I feel. Um, you mostly focus on yourself instead of focusing on the team, as like an actual MMO would be, like where you're not controlling everyone for the most part. Um, but it's more linear, so I think you might enjoy it more because of that. But for me, the completionist in me who wants to like experience more of it, as I've been playing the actual dot hacks, it's a little annoying to play, but I still do enjoy it a lot. So yeah, some things it's just like yeah, there are some sexual stuff in it, just because of the characters walking around. This is FYI. But then also there's a lot of angst with Yuri Lowenthal is the main character, Haseo.
Okay.
And so he's every time you do your charge attack, he just yells "Die" every time. Every time you just charge it, like even if you don't hit anything, that's what happens. And yeah, like there's some mild swearing and stuff. You know, it's anime. It's anime stuff.
Right. Right.
So
Well,
just be aware.
I've not. I remember when I worked at. This is gonna show my age. Working at Blockbuster, seeing the Die Hack games.
Yeah,
Yeah, I never got to play them, and so when you said, "Hey, this is one you could probably jump into,"
yeah,
I do want a good role playing game to jump into. I mean, I still am under the thing where I play a lot of like Halo. I was playing last night while I was watching your stream until I got
mhm,
really pissed and turned it off. Um, but I do want something I can just put on and play. That's different than that. We're going to be talking about other things today that I've been playing a lot of,
yeah.
but
If you
yeah,
do enjoy it, the good thing about the Dot Hack series in general is that like they are volumes, so they're separated by story, but also by like expansions. Like you know how like you buy an MMO and then you have different expansions. Um, so you won't get overwhelmed, I feel, and you could even take like a palate cleanser break like after you finish volume 1. Then you can go do something else for a little bit and then jump into volume 2. But like as you see me play like dot hack, I have over here dot hack quarantine, my most expensive game. um yeah, with that as well as the GU games, like when you finish your volume 1, you can move your save file and convert it completely to volume 2, and then volume
right,
2 to volume 3, and volume 3 and volume 4 and so on. So like it that game series rewards you in playing the whole game through, the whole series through. um so, and because they're very story heavy, I would say yeah, start from the beginning and go on there. And then maybe if we get an IMOQ, the original series, maybe if we get that remake, then you can hop into that. But overall, I feel like you'll understand stuff for the most part. You're not gonna
yeah,
understand the big picture there, but they're gonna reference stuff from my games that you see me play bits and pieces of.
yeah, and
But
I feel
they'll
like
at least reference them as like news stories, I would say.
right, I feel like there is a lot of older games coming out or like remakes, HD remakes, and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So, yeah, like I said, I remember these games a long time ago. So if I can play this one and have as much fun as you do when you play streaming, great.
yeah,
So,
they are PS2 games. So just be aware. I love like PS2 RPGs like to death. They're so fun because they're
oh gosh,
limited.
yes,
They're limited. The scope isn't so huge and overwhelming like most RPGs nowadays. Like honestly, like Persona 5, that game's too big. It's huge. So like it's not like it can be fun if you really do invest yourself into it, but like
Right,
it is a lot of time wasted. Whereas like Persona 4, maybe Persona 3, because they're PS2 games, like they're a little smaller. Like they're more linear than just like here are all these cool options that you can do. Witcher is a
right.
bigger example, I guess. But yeah, PS2 games I love because like you can enjoy it all and you feel like you're not wasting a long time on it.
Right, and I will say that, you know, you said, "Well, it is a PS2 game." Um, I was over the weekend last weekend, I was playing, uh, Tekken 2 for PlayStation 1 on my
Mm,
PS5, which, by the way, I'm so used to playing the new Tekkens, it's very difficult to
yep,
go back to that. Um,
I can imagine.
King is my guy that I use, and King has, like, several reversals,
Hmm.
um, being a wrestler, and it is not the same as playing it on PlayStation 1, by the way.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's really cool. I'm hoping this weekend I can boot that bad boy up and play it. Um, but let's move into some of the stories. So, Alex, did you know that Square Enix had a Final Fantasy VII like like they were talking about it, and they talked about something very special about Final Fantasy Remake being number one, a three-part trilogy.
Yeah.
But they also, which got a lot of people excited in their trailer, they showed a little bit of Crisis Core in there.
They
Uh,
did. I am very happy about Crisis Core.
yeah, you
Um,
and everybody else.
I love Zach. Zach is like one of my favorite characters in all of video games. I don't want to spoil stuff because whatever. I don't know. Old game's old, but at the same time, I don't want to super spoil stuff. But like, Zach overall with any sort of game or like movie series or whatever, I'm more a fan of tragedies, and I think that's
Right.
why I enjoy those characters more. So Zach, for example, like yeah, he is a tragic hero. So like seeing his whole thing, seeing if anything changes because remake exists, and you've had your time to play remake. I'm gonna kind of spoil things, but like remake is a remake. It's not a faithful telling of Final Fantasy. It seems to be some sort of alternate universe, alternate timeline, reality, whatever, as per like the ending of it. So anything could happen. Um, yeah, so anything could happen at the end of this game. Um,
Right.
because they're using remake designs. Uh, they they're using clouds or they're using the new Buster Sword design. They're not using the old design anymore for Crisis Core. So yeah, it's coming to Switch. Uh,
Yeah.
I'm very happy about that. Now that I have this OLED, like I'm very happy about that because like that game is a portable game to me,
So
and
that
I'm gonna play
that
it.
actually kind of threw me off a little bit that it was coming to Switch. Like I said, I think the cool part was as I'm watching this, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's Zach from
Yeah.
Crisis Core. I think that was really, really awesome that they announced that. I had thought at one point that they were going to bring a remastered version of Crisis Core here, or throw it on the new PlayStation Plus Premium because there's
Yeah.
PSP games. And this actually makes me think that they may do that anyway. Now that I see this,
Hmm.
so uh, you know, Square Enix does their own thing, but I feel like this is the one where they were like, "Look, we're doing this for the fans. This is what people have been asking for. People have been asking for Crisis Core stuff for a very long time."
Yeah, since the
And
game
so,
came out, honestly.
yeah,
That's like one of the system sellers for PSP. Like that and Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. Those are two games where you can't download those like on Vita or anything.
no,
So you had to play it on PSP. But let's see here. But yeah, that happened, and then they also talked about Ever Crisis some more. which is that mobile game that basically is telling the original story
Yeah,
of Final Fantasy, and it's looking interesting because like when it gets into actual fights, like it is big old graphics. It's Final Fantasy remake graphics.
yeah,
But then when you're walking around, you're like a chibi form of everything. So I am very interested in this game, in this retelling, because it'd be a cool way for people to learn the story without having to buy all the other things, and especially
right,
if they don't release um like there have been these other Crisis games. I think like Before Crisis was like a mobile game about the Turks that never
yep,
came out here. So like maybe they will address that within this Ever Crisis, then we can get the full thing. Because when Advent Children came out, that's when we got Advent Children, we got Dirge Cerberus, we got what we are just talking about, Crisis Core, and then we got Before Crisis. So like this is the new that anniversary. So we're getting Crisis Core, we're getting Remake 2, we're getting Ever Crisis. We have this first Soldier game still that apparently has been
yeah.
out for a while. It looks interesting. I mean, it looks like PUBG, but with it's on phones. But like, yeah, it's PUBG on phones with Final
Well,
Fantasy.
if you look what phones can do now,
Oh yeah, I
we were
played
talking about
Banjo Kazooie on my phone with Game Pass. It was
yeah,
crazy, and it works really
we
well.
we've talked a lot of times about like Nino Kuni has a new game out,
Yeah,
and that game looks amazing. Now I have the iPhone 13 Pro Max.
yeah,
Um, it looks amazing on there, and I don't download games very often, but that one I was like, I want to try this one out because you were playing it.
yeah,
It looks great on there, so
yeah.
I think it'll do fine on mobile, and I think mobile's coming back a little bit. Um, I play more on my tablet, I'll tell you that. But I think I think what they showed was what they people wanted to see. Now, unfortunately, it just says winter
Hmm.
for some of this. There wasn't really dates. And as we go through um, the Nintendo Direct, it's gonna be a light year for video games.
For sure.
Like, I really do feel that it's gonna be a very, very light year. But what I saw when I was watching, um, you know, when it showed the part where like Cloud and Sephiroth were all walking or whatever, the graphics looked amazing. Um, Some of the best I've ever seen.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think this is great. It was really short and sweet to the point. They showed their games and then they were like, all right, peace out. I think this was like perfect for what they needed to show. And of course, when Zach showed up, everyone was freaking out, I'm sure, because of Crisis Core.
Yeah. And then Final Fantasy remake, and the new title is called Rebirth for the second one. So the last one's gonna be Re something. Um, yeah, but it it's also not coming out for PS4. It's only
Yeah,
PS5 for now. And these games still haven't come to Xbox. So I'm
that's
wondering
well,
when that exclusivity deal is gonna end.
I'm telling you, I still have a gut feeling that Sony will buy Square Enix, and that's why you're not seeing this.
I don't
And
think so.
if they do, I'm telling you, if they do,
If they
it's
do, that's gonna be a problem. I'm gonna say that first because it's cool for the Sony fanboys, but it's a problem because Sony doesn't like to play nice with anyone else. So we're not gonna see a lot of these games that we're gonna see here on Switch here in a second. It's just gonna be all PlayStation,
I think
and
they'll play nice with Nintendo. I don't think they'll play as nice with Xbox because of all of the exclusives that Xbox has.
it's true.
Uh, but one thing I will tell you, if you are a stock person, I just watched that GameStop stock movie on HBO.
Hmm.
If it does happen, make sure you buy stock in them before because that stock will wholly blow up.
Hmm.
It's like GameStop when they got bought out by the guy that owns Chewy, and which, by the way, if you've not watched the documentary, you need to watch it. It's the funniest thing watching these people put the screws to the hedge fund guys. Uh, but we'll have to wait and see on this. I still think that they're positioning themselves to buy.
Hmm.
I mean, everything they've done about selling companies off that they don't, or IPs, they sold all that off. So I don't know, man. It just makes me think that, you know, that's happening. So,
Yeah.
but we'll have to wait and see about that. But we also, let's move on to our next story. We had a mini Nintendo Direct here today. Um, there was some really good stuff on this. I was very pleased with that. We are looking at the IGN article by Matt Kim. These, of course, are not in the order. Of course, that's how
We
Alex
have
is
to say
laughing.
it. We have to say it
We
every
have to say
time.
it.
It makes me mad.
It's so weird. How hard is it to put it in order? I mean,
They just
come on,
want the
IGN.
clicks first. That's why they want these like thumbnails to pop up if they're sharing it on other platforms, maybe.
True.
Um,
Well,
but yeah,
yeah. So let's run through this. So here's one that did surprise me, but I feel like it's been talked about a lot. Persona 5 Royal, Persona 4 Golden, and Persona 3 Portable will be on Switch. Um, it looks like in October. Um, and then the other ones are coming soon after that. That's pretty much in line to what Xbox said. Am I right? When they did theirs, was like,
yeah.
oh, hey, we're gonna have this in October, and then these ones will come later.
So they're also coming to PlayStation as well. That was announced after the Xbox thing. It's just that Xbox has them on Game Pass.
Right.
Um, so I'm gonna buy these games, especially if there are physical copies of these, because it sounds like there are physical copies of Persona 5. I'm not sure about 3 and 4. I really hope there are. I'm gonna
Yeah.
buy those like crazy because Persona 3 portable on PSP right now is like a $200 game.
Yeah. And I think bringing these out, because I feel like Persona 5 um, was a really good success. I feel like it sold really well, enough for them to do Golden, and there's been some
Mm-hmm.
spin-off series, and just adding these here just adds to that right now. And to be honest, I feel like Persona Golden and Persona 3 will look really good on Switch.
Yeah,
Um,
OLED is gonna look excellent. I mean, Persona 4 Golden was on Vita, and I played that on OLED. But this is gonna be a bigger screen. Uh, it'll just look better in general. I've talked about this again and again. I don't know how recently I've said it, but Persona 5 is the Metal Gear Solid 5 of the franchise, where nobody or like a niche audience was playing Metal Gear at that time, and then everyone hopped in on Metal Gear Solid 5 at the
yeah,
time. And that's what Persona 5 was, is everyone hopped in on it without knowing what Persona is. And they all enjoyed it, so now they can start to go backwards. And it's also kind of crazy that Joker's been on Smash for 4 years, and finally his game is out on
yeah.
Switch.
I think that was, believe it or not, that was like the one more thing of the show. Like, hey, we got one more thing we're going to talk about here.
Yeah,
That was like a really good way to end it.
it
Uh,
was. It was honestly kind of expected for the most part. Because if it was coming to everything else, like it'd be really weird if it wasn't coming to Switch. The thing that
right.
did surprise me, last surprise, haha, Persona 5 jokes. But the thing that really did surprise me was Persona 5 Royal is the Royal version. Um, and it's not a cloud version.
Yeah, because it's a pretty big game, especially with the Royal versions a lot more.
It
So,
is, and Royal is only a PS4 game. It's not a PS3 game, whereas like the original was a PS3 game. So I thought like, oh, maybe they would just port that one instead.
right.
But no, they're doing that. Um, so which makes me mad about some other stuff we're gonna talk about here in a second. But yeah,
Yeah,
Persona's awesome.
yeah. The next thing on the list was the Mega Man Network Battle Legacy Collection. So here's what's weird. I'm pretty sure at some point I said that they're going to re-release these.
Oh, I've
It
talked
wasn't.
about it before.
Yeah, we've both have. Now this was not on our what we think is going to happen for the year, which sucks because we should have both said it.
Yeah.
Uh, I think this is really awesome. It's 10 games,
Yeah.
and they announced it for the Switch. It will be sold digitally for the two parts, but doing some little investigating, this will also be on Steam and this will also be on PS4.
Yep.
Uh, but here's the thing: there's no talk of a physical version of these. Now, me personally, uh, because these were on a handheld system, I think they'll play really well on a Switch.
Mhm.
I kind of want the PS4 version if it's going to be a physical copy. Um,
So here's the thing. It says the collection will be coming to Nintendo Switch in 2023, and will be sold in two parts if purchased digitally. So it sounds like there is a one physical that you probably buy for $60, and then if you buy it digitally, it's going to be two parts.
yeah. Do you think? Well, are they going to be able to do a physical on the Switch without having to download
Cartridges
anything?
are getting bigger and probably cheaper now, so I bet they could.
Yeah. I think this would be great on PS4. You know, but the Switch would do really well because
They're Game Boy
these were
Advance
made for.
games.
Yeah. Um, this one kind of shocked me. I did not see this coming,
Hmm.
but between this and Persona, I feel like these were like the big games of the show. It's 2 volumes. They said 2 volumes digitally, so I'm guessing one on one disc. I'm pretty sure you can fit that on a Blu-ray, all of them.
Oh, probably. Yeah, because they're all. Um, yeah, probably because it's all Game Boy Advance games. Now
Yeah,
it is because it's a legacy collection. As they do, it has Japanese and English. So
yeah.
the Rockman Battle Network as well as the Mega Man Battle Networks will be there, as
Um,
well as the library, music library, and art gallery stuff.
and I really did like these games. I played a lot of them. I emulated a lot. Let me rephrase that. I know it
Mm,
sounds awful. But these games were really well done. They brought the Mega Man universe into more of a role playing element
yeah,
with battles. And
I
then
I like them.
I think the cool thing was is you could bring it after a while. You started getting cards and stuff. You could bring enemies to battle with you.
Hmm. Yeah, I like this, especially because like there are different versions after two. So like three has two versions, four has two versions, five has two versions, and six has two versions. I've only played one and two, and I've only beaten two. Um, so seeing the other ones and playing through them in order will be really fun. I played all of Star Force, which is the sequel series to this, and there's three of those, but each of those has their own version.
Yeah,
So six of those total technically. So I feel like that would be the next thing maybe, but that's also a DS game, so I don't know how well that would translate um to a legacy collection unless they change some stuff up. But I'm excited. I love Mega Man Battle Network. It was a surprise to see it here, of all places.
yeah.
But yeah, coming out for everything else, I guess, minus Xbox.
Do it. I think is
It's
crazy.
cool.
Capcom had their show not too long ago and didn't mention it. So it's kind of weird that they didn't mention it. I feel like they should have brought it out, especially since it's not like a Switch exclusive. You know,
Yeah, I bet they paid for something to
probably.
just have it here.
Um,
Um, yeah,
then they talked a little bit about Mario and Rabbids Spark of Hope, and it actually got a release date of October 20th. I totally forgot that we saw this last year, and then
yeah.
we've not really heard a lot
The
about it.
release
Like,
date got leaked the day before this came out.
oh, really?
Yeah. Um, and then there's a Ubisoft showcase or direct tomorrow, or not, yeah, tomorrow I guess,
Yeah,
so the day that this releases on audio services. Um so yeah, there'll be more about that at Ubisoft, but nothing else from Nintendo. But yeah, just October, and they showed a little bit more. I'm not interested. I'm not gonna buy it.
yeah. I'm not a big fan of that. What I did find interesting was the Portal companion collection comes to Switch, and that came out well today
Today.
as we're recording Tuesday. Uh, that one kind of threw me off because I was like, wow, they're gonna have Portal on the Switch. Uh, and so it's gonna be later today that it's probably out now.
Mm-hmm.
But it's gonna have so it's Portal 1 and 2, but it also includes like local split screen, online and multiplayer as well.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, this one kind of threw me off. Like I did not see this one coming.
Mm-hmm.
Because they said mini show, I was like, oh, it's gonna be a lot of like little things. But yeah, that was really cool. And that one actually released today. They also talked about Near. This is the Automatum, the end of the year edition, and it's coming to Switch. Um, this one's coming out October 6th, but this is like the game that came out not too long ago with all the DLC.
Yeah.
Um,
So this is the part that I was talking about earlier that's gonna make me mad. Is that we Persona 4 Royal is coming out on Switch. Persona or and Near Automata is coming out on Switch. Native. Both are native. We got Kingdom Hearts, all of that cloud. It confuses me. I think
yeah.
they're just really lazy and they just didn't want to work on it because Near, Near is maybe a little less intensive than Kingdom Hearts 3, but like they got it to work on the Switch natively, so it's not cloud
Well, I
based.
feel like Nintendo got a lot of crap for cloud stuff.
Yeah,
That was been the big thing for the longest time was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be a cloud game. This is gonna be a cloud game.
there
This is
was
gonna be a
one
cloud game.
cloud game in this thing though, that we'll talk about later. But yeah, Near, it's more Near. It's the same thing, but
Yeah,
yeah, that means
I
we'll probably get the other one here soon.
yeah I again that was one that I didn't see coming,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, the another one they talked about is it Harvestella.
Mm-hmm.
This is a new game. It's a Square Enix game. So this one was weird. It's like a mix of Starview Valley um, and like an RPG.
Yeah.
So
Have you ever heard of Fantasy Life before?
yes,
It's kind of like that, I feel, where like it's like Minecraft esque, but like very JRPG, where but you're also like doing village stuff and doing farm stuff. But yeah, it looks interesting. At the beginning, I was just like, oh, this looks okay. And then, like, when it kept going, I was like, oh, I'm actually interested in this. And oh, this is Square? Okay, let's go. Let's see what this does.
yeah, it was so funny because they even said it was a mix between the two.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, there, it looks really good. This one actually is going to be released on November 4th. There was a lot of these actually at release dates this year,
Mm-hmm.
which was weird because the one thing we didn't hear was Advanced Wars 1 and 2. I understand why we haven't.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's war going on right now. That was like my highly anticipated game last year.
Yeah.
And what sucks is those games are so good.
Yeah.
And they weren't in this, which most likely means they're not coming out this year.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's my little rant for the day. They also talked about Return to Monkey Island um, coming to consoles first on Switch.
Yeah.
So I didn't even know this was something in the works, but it is the sequel to Monkey Island. Now, I wonder if this is the way it's going to look. So the trailer they showed was very different animation than Monkey Island. Now, Monkey
Yeah.
Island's been out
It
for
reminded me a lot of Broken Age.
yeah,
Um so like that kind of point and click. So
which I
yeah.
get because Monkey Island has been out. It's a long time ago.
Yeah. And I've heard that this is a sequel to Monkey Island 2. So they're ignoring Monkey Island 3 and the Telltale one.
Yeah, which is fine. You know, they could definitely do that. Um, you know, this one here, they didn't really talk about a date. They just said in 2022, which means it'll be this year. So my guess would be like November, December for
Probably.
this one here.
I would think so.
Um, they also talked about Super Bomberman R2. So this is a brand new game.
Hmm.
And this one was like different because you're like basically castle defense.
I liked it. I
Uh,
thought it looked pretty cool.
yeah, it was like that classic Bomberman, but with defense.
I've never played Super Bomberman R before. Actually, no, that's a lie. I played that at the Mall of America when the Switch first came out. They had like a Nintendo thing. That's where I got my Nintendo water bottle. Um,
Oh,
because
nice,
I had to like play so many demos, and they would like stamp like a thing for you, and when they saw it, then they would give you a water bottle, like a My Nintendo water bottle thing.
nice.
But yeah, I played this original game there, and it was really fun actually.
Yeah,
This game's on sale all the time, the original. Um, but it is Konami, and this seems to be like one of the few things that Konami is still doing.
I know, right? Which again, this little mini direct, I feel like had a lot of really big hits for being a small one.
Hmm.
They also talked about Live a Live, which is a very highly anticipated RPG coming.
Yeah.
Uh, the game is actually coming out this year, the 22nd of next month. But you can get a demo right now on there. Um,
Yeah,
so
and it transfers. Your save file
yeah,
transfers to the other one. It's much like
uh,
the other Square Enix games.
yeah. So I think this one looks really, really like old school RPG style.
Yeah,
There,
it's a
I think this
PS1
looks
game
yeah,
technically.
and I think it's going to do really well. I think this is a big one people are looking for.
Yeah,
Um, they also showed a little bit more of Monster Hunter. Man, am I like the only one that's like, oh, we got more Monster Hunter? And I'm just like, I'm just so over hearing about Monster Hunter. And I know it's got a cult following. I have tried to play it several times and I just can't get into it.
I've
It
tried
just
as well. It's fine. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I just wish the Monster Hunter was better than it actually is. Um, it
you
just
go
feels
into
Yeah, it just feels like it's kind of stuck on Switch for the most part. Like I know that it's out. Rise, I believe, is out now on PC, but the all the DLC and stuff isn't coming out at the
right.
day and date as that. Um,
I feel like I should like this game so much.
mhm.
Going into it, you're like, oh my gosh, this is like what I like. You're fighting monsters, you're making weapons. But when you get into it, it's not. It's a lot more complicated than that. And so, but they have their own. I think that was like the first one they showed really, and it was really long. Like that was a long trailer and stuff.
It was.
Um, they've got some more. Um, so the it's a DLC. Will be released in August of 2022
Hmm.
with more free title updates coming in the fall, winter, and 2023. So
Yeah, they support these games for a long time generally, which is really cool. So like if you really do enjoy it, like you're gonna get a lot of money's worth out of this. I did buy this game for a little bit when it came out at one point. And I just couldn't get into it, so I sold it. But that game is like $40 now at Target. So like
yeah,
if you're interested, go buy it.
yeah. They showed a little bit more gameplay of Sonic Frontiers. Um, I, I didn't think it looked very well. Now,
No, because it's running on Switch.
right, I thought it was cool having open world and it's like that, but again, I feel like at this point Sega needs to be showing like up tier of whatever they're doing.
I think they
Because
did. So I will say this. I was talking to someone about this earlier today. Is I'm very happy with Nintendo. Is that whenever they show stuff in their directs, for the most part, um, when you're seeing footage, it is running on Nintendo, and you can tell it's not a
yeah,
bait and switch. Um, so like it'd be kind of crappy of them to show PS4 running Sonic, and then when you get it, it's not running like how it looks in the trailers. So I do appreciate that they are being honest with us and very transparent and showing us like, yeah, there is frame rate jitters a little bit here or there and all this. Um, I will say, the linear battles, like in the cyberspace thing, or like the cyberspace levels look really really cool.
They did.
Like the city escape thing, the Green Hill Zone thing, those looked awesome. So just give me more of those, and I'll be more interested in this game. But yeah, I'm getting this game for PS5 for sure.
Yeah, and I think once they start showing videos of it running in PS5 and Xbox Series X, I think it'll look better.
Yeah.
Um, so this game was like very much out of nowhere. Am I saying it right? Is it blank?
Oh yeah, Blanc probably.
Blanc. So it's basically a fawn and a wolf cub who must work together to find their way home in the snow. You can play this local or online co-op. This one's being released in 2023. Very art style game. Lots of puzzles. It looks
Hmm.
like one person would control the fawn, one would control the wolf pup, and it's like a lot of puzzles from what I'm looking at there. Um, didn't really like show a lot, but
Yeah.
it was different.
Hmm.
Um, some of these other ones they kind of showed fairly quickly, like Disney Dreamlight Valley. I know we've seen that before. So basically, what it is it no joke? It is legitimately like Animal Crossing with Disney and Pixar.
It'll do
Uh,
well.
it will. It looks. It almost, to be honest, it almost looks like, hey, it's a free to play, and you need to buy things for it. Is what it looks like to me.
Yeah.
Now I could be. They've not really announced what it is. I know it's in early access, starting. They're in early access. I think coming up pretty soon.
Hmm.
That one's being released on September 6th. It'll do well. It will do well. They showed Dragon Quest Treasures. It's a spinoff from the Switch version of a game that came out. Um, and this is like a spinoff of Dragon Quest where you're a treasure hunter. You use monsters to kind of help you look for it. Um, that one is December 9th. Um, I mean, it's just like Dragon Quest ish
Yeah.
to me. I mean, a couple of these really did look like they look like cell phone games, and that's what that looked like. Not
Yeah.
knocking the Switch in general, it just looked like one that you would
It,
purchase, or
it looked like, honestly, it looked like Dragon Quest Builders again, but a little
it did.
worse.
Yeah,
But it's still Dragon Quest, so I feel like it'll do fine.
yeah. Um, Little Noah Zion of Paradise is another one they showed. It's a rogue like action game. That one's actually getting released today.
Yeah, I
So
saw on the eShop, so it should be
yeah,
up there
that
now.
actually looked pretty cool. It
Hmm.
looked different. Um, oh gosh, there were so many. RPG Time, The Legend of Right.
That's the one that was shown off at Xbox a long time ago, where you're in
Yep.
a book and you're just playing I don't know, an actual like RPG through paper, like a pen and paper RPG, literally. And it's finally coming out, I guess. So
Yeah, there was a couple of these that I swear were on other ones.
yeah,
Um, is this Lorelei, right? Lee
yeah,
and the
Lorelei
Laser
and the
Eyes.
Laser Eyes, yeah.
Um, Lots of puzzles, mystery game there. So here's one here I wanted to kind of bring up because people were really talking about this, and I totally am gonna butcher the name. Can you
Doraemon,
derive on?
yeah.
When I saw that, I was like, "Holy crap! That's not a game we would get here normally."
We've been getting Doraemon games recently.
Yeah,
Story of Seasons is Harvest Moon. It's just that they had to change the name. But yeah, Doraemon Story of Seasons came out on 3DS, I believe. One of them did. So yeah, another Doraemon. Doraemon's popular everywhere.
oh yeah,
It's like Shin-chan. Speaking of which, I don't think it shows it here, but Shin-chan is coming out worldwide, so it's gonna be on Switch. Um,
I saw
I
that.
don't know if you remember Shin-chan,
I
where
remember
that guy,
how bad.
well, that got ghost storied.
Yeah,
So like where it was just like a very profane dub because they just wanted to do whatever they wanted for ratings, and it had not like they kept, as long as they kept the story intact, they were allowed to say anything, it seems
yeah,
like. But yeah, very profane, very a lot
yes.
of potty humor and stuff. But yeah, that's coming out too. But yeah, Doraemon, very popular show. Doraemon came out on Disney XD a few years ago.
Yeah,
Kids were able to watch it there, and I watched it there too, honestly. When I had TV for a bit at some point, and Johnny Young Bosch, JYB himself, like Ichigo and stuff like that. He voices Nobi, who is the kid in Doraemon.
really.
Yeah, he's using like his Vash the Stampede voice, like a very light like kid version of that. Um, but yeah, so Doraemon, I mean, it's Doraemon Harvest Moon, so yeah, it's gonna do well.
That's supposed to come out this year.
Yeah,
This one kind of cracked me up because I was like, that actually looks really cool. So it's Pac-Man World repacked, and it's like a three-dimensional Pac-Man game, right? But
yeah,
then there was like a whole bunch of different things they did. It wasn't like a normal Pac-Man game. There was like actual levels, and there was like bosses,
yeah.
and it wasn't like normal
It's
Pac-Man.
a remake of a PS1 game.
What was really cool is he got like giant. It was like eating everything.
Oh yeah,
Uh, that looked really cool. Um, this one comes out on August 26th. They also talked about a game called uh, Railgrade. It looks like it's a sim. So you are building railway systems to best transport cargo. You have to make decisions. It's almost like a Sim City, but for railroads.
yeah. It seems cool.
Yeah, it does. Says this fall. And then the last one, well, not last one, one they talked about was Captain Velvet Meteor and the Jump Plus Dimension. Um,
I don't remember this.
I remember it, but it was like, I was like, what is this? You play as a young boy who recently moved to Japan with no friends. Uh, Damien chooses to live in his imagination as a superhero, Captain Velvet Meteor, who teams up with his favorite manga characters to help escape a mysterious world. Captain Velvet was released on July 28th. It was different. I'm trying to remember this one. I'm looking it up
I'm
right now.
looking it up right now too. I don't remember this. Well, jump plus or whatever. Jump. Huh. Okay. Is this like one of those? Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah. Wait, I
I
saw
mean,
this in the Japanese direct. Are we getting this too? I didn't realize this was in the regular direct. I must have skipped around and not
it
seen it.
looks. I think it looks really good.
Whoa. Okay. Saber's in this. Like it looks like that's Saber. I don't know. Like okay, so I saw this in the Japanese direct. I don't have it pulled up here because it's Google Images, and I just don't want stuff to be weird. But Jump or whatever makes me think of like Shonen Jump, and like anime stuff. The guy from Spy X Family, from that new anime, like the dad person, like he's in this game. He guest stars in it. But like when you look at the Jump Dimensions cover, like it looks like Saber's in here from is
I will
that
tell you,
Saber?
watching the trailer that I just watched, um, I rewatched it and I'm like, the one thing I did notice with it though
Oh, it's fake Saber.
is uh, it's definitely an RTS or not like a well like a it's like a strategy of some sort, and you move a grid, so role playing elements like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it looks really really good. I think the colors were really really bright.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I would totally buy that if there's a physical version. I would buy it. I'm like on this physical version kick. I know I'm like one of the few people,
Yeah.
but I would totally buy that.
Yeah. Yeah, there's just I'm gonna move this over to your guys' screen. Um like this is ridiculous. If you look here, this kid, yo, I like Spy X Family. So I have a Spy X Family poster here. Hit anime right now. So like that's why I guess that's in this game. Um but Yeah, because you can. That guy is in this game because he's right there in the center here. But then I thought this was Saber because it looks like Saber from like Fate Stay Night and stuff. But I think it's just they couldn't get it right, so they did
Yeah,
someone else. Discount Saber. Um, but
it's definitely not like Super Robot Wars where they actually got
yeah,
the
I mean
rights.
they got someone, so that's interesting. I wonder if they got more.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to wait and see. That actually comes out next month at the end of the month. So,
Yeah,
here's what's hilarious. That was their like mini direct. It didn't feel like a mini direct. It
yeah,
didn't. It went really fast,
yeah, it did.
but there were a lot of really really big announcements. What's the only thing that's sad is I was hoping they would talk about a Game and Watch coming out, like another one. And there's
Yeah,
still time for that.
there's still time for maybe another direct. We didn't talk about it, but there was a Xenoblade 3 direct last week. Um, but
And that comes out this year, doesn't it?
comes out next month, I think.
Yeah, I think that's a big one.
Yeah.
Um, you know, we're still gonna have a light year,
Mm-hmm.
but all right. So the last thing we were going to talk about is no shock to anybody
No
is the
shell shock.
brand. It's a shell shock. The brand new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Revenge or Shredder's Revenge. Now, we need to try and keep this spoiler free because I know it's not been out like a ton,
Mm-hmm.
but we gotta definitely try and keep this one spoiler free because there was. But in the same token, oh my gosh, there was so many great things in this game. Uh, I'm going to tell you right now that this is my contender for Game of the Year, my personal Game of the Year.
Is very
Just
good. Who'd you play
yes.
as?
So I started off as Leonardo,
Okay.
but I've played it a couple times. I recently have been playing through as Master Shredder. I'm sorry, Master Splinter. Sorry.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
Yeah, I played as Donatello my first time when I was playing it here. And then when I was on vacation, I was at my sister's place and she has an Xbox Series X and Game Pass. So I just downloaded it on hers and got her all the achievements. But I played as Raphael on that playthrough and beat the game that way.
I like how it's just not a fighter. So you level up.
Mm-hmm.
Each character can get to level 10, which means either more HP. Um, it takes less time for you to get your supers up.
Mm-hmm.
You can actually earn moves as well. Lots of secrets to unlock. Um, so I originally downloaded on Xbox Game Pass the day it came out.
Same.
No joke. I literally sat here and played through the entire game in one sitting, which I don't ever do. I mean, that's a lot of time
I
to
I
do.
I did that when I was playing my second time. Yeah, I sat through it all and just did it all and did everything honestly because it's very easy to complete for like the collectible stuff. Now, there's a lot of things where it's like just don't get hit. I'm like that's impossible, dude. Um, but I mean Gerard did it, and so I mean it's possible. Um,
I don't think there's a trophy for it.
mm,
But he Gerard has to do 100% of the game.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
but
Yeah, it's a great game. Great game. There are a lot of cool references to previous Ninja Turtles games. Um, I was kind of disappointed. Now I don't know if it's a licensing thing. So I mean, you said no spoilers, but I mean these characters aren't in the game. There's no Toka and Razar.
well, I don't want to say without spoiling it. There is a level where they show up.
Yeah, but yeah,
Yeah, I mean technically they're there.
but they're not.
No,
So
I
yeah,
think the best thing about what they did have was they had a lot of enemies from the cartoon show.
and allies as well for collectible
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, some of the collectibles were. They did their research. this game I think is not only good, not only for the fact of you can play with 7 people in your house, but you could do online as well with
Hmm.
7 people,
Yeah,
uh, which I'm at times it does, I'm sure, get really complicated because you're like all over the place. But I think that's the fun part of the game is that
yeah.
um, the graphics on this thing are fantastic for trying to be like an old game.
Mhm.
Um, and like I never got bored playing it. I never got bored playing it.
Yeah, I
Uh,
heard how the devs were talking about how there aren't any additional like costumes or stuff for characters because they're like, no, we focus too much on the graphics of this game that we no, we're just not doing it. Not right now at least.
do you think here's my thing was which a funny story. So this came out digitally and Limited Run is doing a physical copy, right?
The Pizza Hut coupon. Yep.
Yeah. So funny story was is I was looking up the Cowabunga collection, but it's not out and we have no release date.
Mm.
And this game showed up on Best Buy and website.
Huh.
So in August, you'll be able to buy a physical copy of this game,
All right.
which I knew was going to happen because the um, the producer, which is .mu,
Yeah.
um, did that with Streets of Rage,
Yeah. And
where
they did with I think they did Scott Pilgrim too technically for that release too. And yeah, that's what happened with Scott Pilgrim. Like it popped up in Best Buy like almost immediately.
yeah, so it's there. I think it's like $30. No, I don't even think it's
30.
that much.
No, I think it's 35.
Yeah, let me look real quick. But like, um, which is funny because like I was like, I really do want a physical copy of this game just to support it and support what they do. But
Yeah, but Limited Run has the deal with Best Buy. So you don't have to
yeah.
buy it from Limited Run. You don't have to wait forever. Just buy it from them.
So yes, here it is. It's 34.99. It is. They do not have like next gen consoles. PlayStation 4 is,
Yeah,
Xbox One.
I saw that.
Yeah. So, and they have a release date for August. So, but besides that, the game is like good on so many things. I know there's people that are like, well, there was little hiccups I had with this or that.
Yeah, but I didn't really notice or care because I was having so
No,
much fun. Yeah, this is definitely a contender for my game of the year as well. It is probably my favorite Ninja Turtles game already.
yeah. Um, so now that this is out, we just need that Cowabunga collection, to be honest. Which now playing this will not be as good as this.
It
It won't
won't,
be.
but at least I'll get to play the arcade versions of some of those games. So,
Yeah, I think that's really cool, but it will not be as good as this
no, it definitely
at
won't.
all. I also think that they are going to do DLC for this game because
Probably eventually. Yeah.
it was like a year, almost 2 years later, they did DLC for Streets of Rage 4.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, like the DLC was perfect.
Hmm.
They added new characters, they added new like things to it, like a survival mode. Uh, I would love, and I'm not going to say who it is, but there are certain characters in this game. There's 4 of them. I would love to see them as playable characters.
Yeah.
So, and this is very difficult because I really want to like spoil so much. But if someone's not played it yet, first off, if you've not played it and you have PlayStation Plus, you get a discount on PS5. That's number one. And number two, if you don't and you have Xbox and you have Game Pass, it's free.
Yep.
So you should be
And
playing this
not
game.
even that. Like it's Xbox on PC too. I think, right?
Yeah, that's the first place I played it. I played it on my PC.
Yeah. So yeah,
So,
Game Pass on
uh,
PC. Yeah. What are you waiting on? Like this
yeah,
game's very good, and it's on Switch as well. I think it's on sale on Switch right now.
yeah.
So like, yeah, just go ahead and get it. It's an
I mean,
excellent
it
game.
was like $24 or something on $22, $24 on PS5.
Yeah.
So I bought it. Um, yeah. Well, that has been our kind of our show today. We do have a shout out of the week. Squares of the Circle is our buddy Zach's podcast. They're talking wrestling. I wonder if they're gonna talk about the stuff going on with Vince McMahon, all that crazy
Oh yeah.
nonsense.
Who knows,
Nonsense.
honestly. Yeah,
Well,
I'm not big in I'm not in the wrestling space, so I know about that. So like just knowing about that like is crazy to me that it reached me. Um but yeah, who knows what they talk about, what they're gonna talk about with that. But we do know that Zach is a good friend of ours, and maybe someday we'll get him on the podcast again when we remember to coordinate correctly.
yeah, and he's busy. We're busy. We record the same day of the week,
Yeah.
every week. But I definitely, you know, check him out. Hit subscribe. It's a good podcast. I've listened to it, and
Hmm.
I don't even really watch wrestling anymore,
Yeah,
but it's still a good podcast.
for sure.
So, this episode will drop audio on iTunes or wherever you get your podcast from on Wednesday. And please don't forget to go to our YouTube channel and subscribe, which the video version, if you like looking at our faces, will be out on Friday as well. Check us out on Facebook and Twitter. We're very active with the community there.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I don't think I have anything more. Do you have anything, Alex?
Not very much. Just get at it.
Get at it.